want to know about African dance?
I want you to talk about
African dance. What you want to know about African dance, Miss Imani? You know, I mean, let me take my glasses off so they ain't all showing crazy with the lights. African dance, West African dance, specifically djembe dance from the Mali Empire, west part of Africa. And we really try to let people understand that there are 54 continents on Africa, and this is just a small part of the culture in Africa is a continent. So what we do is just a small part of the cultural arts in Africa. Me being American-born, African-American, it has been a journey for me to pick up this style of dance. As you may imagine, there are some biases surrounding learning this dance and teaching this dance if you are not directly from that ethnic group. And I haven't had my African DNA done, but I claim all of Africa. You know, going back to Kemet, and I actually have a program called the SESH Project, where we look to connect the ancient SESH, or the ancient scribe that was the historian that kept the records, with the classical Jali. And the classical Jali is the musician, the West African musician that is the oral historian. So we teach to youth, and it's important for us to continue to tell our story through history, through arts.
SuNu benima.
So I, in my attempts, try to train and keep my technique, you know, fresh for what it is, and I teach what I know. I don't claim to know everything. A master might say, I know nothing. You know, I'm not a master, I don't know anything, but I do know the journey that it took to repeat and just, you know, that's how you learn, repeat, review the steps in the movement and the music that I know in West African dance, because it's a connection. In Africa, they don't separate the dance and the drum. They don't separate the music and the movement. So it's also important, if you're going to take this journey, that you're not only looking to acquire the movement, but acquire the music and learn the drum, the djembe and the doom drum, that is really the basic heartbeat part of the rhythms.
Dancing on my own just because I want to learn how to dance. So going to high school, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start taking dance classes. And I just fell in love with dance. I didn't know about West African dance at the time. All it was like jazz, ballet, contemporary, hip hop, ballroom. That's about all I studied. But then I got to college and I'm like, oh, there's modern dance, cool. And then West African dance, like, what's that? And then so going to my dance days, finding out like West African dance is how those were kind of like a diaspora, a movement, how it went from Africa here, like especially from the slave trade. Very interesting. Just the movements were so hard. Like the aesthetics that I learned in high school versus West African were just so different, but there was something really good about that difference, especially with the drums. It creates this nice feeling of community with the drummers. There's a direct connection with the drummers and the dance. Like you have to listen for the break. And in dance, usually it's like, here's a song, here's a dance, put it together. But in West African, they go hand in hand. And if you don't listen to that music, the dance just doesn't feel right. And for me, what I fell in love with about West African dance is how just the community and the heartbeat of the drums. Like it moves you for, like there's no other instrument that will start playing that will like get your soul going and you just want to move and just like
What West African dance means to me, what dance means to me, period, is an escape, I guess you could say. Because I am such a shy and introverted person, dance gives me a moment to just kind of not speak, not talk, not really interact, just kind of just have fun for a moment, get lost in movement, get lost in music.
Only 5 sisters. And then it grew. Like 2 more. Monica, she's an OG sister. Yeah, we're in our process. I remember we would have like the warm-up sessions where you just turn off the lights and then just go with your heart, and we would just dance to all types of
That's
stuff.
so true.
I
So
love
good.
that. We basically had to become in tune with ourselves as dancers again, and I think this piece really helped that come together for me. But we grew. We literally grew, and Imani pushed us. Monica, come back! Don't act shy, okay? Don't let her fool you. She's amazing. I've literally been inspired by Monica since day one. Like she's such a beautiful dancer. Like here. No, she's a beautiful dancer. And me, I've never taken dance at UCR, so this was like, okay, I gotta show what I got, and that's it, you know. But I think I showed a little bit. Yeah.
This is the first time ever doing West African dancing, and it's amazing.
Right.
It taught me a lot.
Even for it to be like a part of our heritage, like this is literally our roots, where we come from. So we're literally honoring like our greatest ancestors.
Right. And SuNu, like she was a woman, she's empowered. And I think that's so important in these times, you know, just to represent ourselves and our womanhood, and just be proud of being a woman. And so I'm honored to pay tribute to her, and I'm thankful that she's like able to come through us, you know?
Yeah, truly. There'd be like musicals or whatever, but I was never like the best dancer. Like everyone who I danced with in middle school now is like dancing professionally for different people, but I never even thought I had any of this in me. This is my first dance show, my first anything, so it just made me comfortable with being like uncomfortable. Like it's good to like push your boundaries and just reach your full potential.
I'm not a dance major, I'm not a dance minor. Dance is a therapy. Like we say these words, like it's really like a release of a lot of worries, and it's just it's a chance to express myself. So this is my 4th year in the show. I honestly could say it was my best year in the show. UCR, I think, has finally brought out who I am as a dancer, and I'm so thankful that Imani like pushed me and pushed us to have this happen. Monica, what's
poppin'? Okay, so I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and I was just forced into it. And then towards like middle school or something, I fell in love with it because I made great like friendships there. I had really great teachers who like taught me, and that was just like the beginning. And then high school, I got into modern and contemporary. And that's when I was like, oh, I like modern and contemporary, like that's cool. And then there was like improv and like choreography. Like I choreographed 2 pieces, and it was very challenging just because I had to like create a whole piece. Yeah, and like I had so much what's the word? Responsibility, but like I could do whatever I want with like steps and movements and whatnot, and because I was still like, I don't know, shy and like not super out of my comfort zone in high school, I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do, like I don't know. So that went on. I declared my major as dance, I fell in love with West African. I took it beginning of my second year, and I've been taking West African since then. And then, even though that was my first time taking West African, I was like,
The one that started it all.
West African.
Just our roots, how we begin with dance.
Okay. Day one.
Day one.
Whole nother routine.
From the womb.
Yeah, we started off with a whole nother routine. However, West African was always a part of it. They just didn't know in the beginning. So a lot of these young ladies, this was their first time training in West African dance with me. And I'm a baby as well in the technique and the form, but I was able to teach you guys some things, and I really enjoyed the experience that we shared together.
Hi, my name is Magnolia Yingsaoya. I'm a first-year PhD in Critical Dance Studies, also with a designated emphasis in Southeast Asian Studies. I'm also an artist, a choreographer, and a dancer. I'm currently taking West African dance with Professor Parker. Now that I'm at UCR, I've really wanted to go back and dive in, dig a little deeper into West African dance. And I enjoy it very much. It's extremely fulfilling to my body, physically and spiritually, and it feels very connected with my practice in house dance and in freestyling, so it really informs each other, and it feels really great to my spirit. Thank you.
My experience with West African dance has been amazing so far. I actually just started about, I think, a year ago, last year, so really for like a whole year now. I've just been getting into traditional African dance as well as Afro beats and stuff like that, and like just like the whole just Caribbean, just black dance.
Yes.
So for the most part, see us on stage.
She was truly iconic, and she set the path for us to be up here on this stage today. SuNu was known as the best dancer in her tribe.
Wait, that's funny because I'm known as the best dancer in my tribe, all the way from Belize.
wait, no. I'm the best dancer in my tribe, all the way from the Aloha State, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Okay, I see you, but I'm known as the best dancer in my tribe, all the way from LA.
I'm gonna stop you right there. You gotta chill, because I'm
at the University of California Riverside, and I had the blessing and honor to participate in Imani's piece, West African piece, the first ever West African piece in UCR's dancing. So we literally made history this year, and words can't even describe how honored I am to be a part of this and to say that I went through the entire process. Being in UCR's dancing is a huge commitment, and I also have 2 other jobs, so the sacrifice that I had to make to stay in this piece was definitely worth it. I would not care about how late I had to stay up every single day just to get my work done, because the piece was that much worth it. And so I just hope that this brings light to the importance of West African and the importance of coming to our roots and understanding our roots and being able to acknowledge the importance of this dance, because I mean, this is how we evolve. This is how everything has come, you know, just listening to simple beats and like simple movements. And so I just hope that everyone can see this as a blessing and can utilize it for later in this world, and you know, the U.S. can come recognize the proper, appropriate forms of this dance, because it has been appropriated like many other things in our society, but we're not gonna get into that. Let me not get political, sorry. But no, I'm just super thankful. I'm super honored. Like, Imani was like, your spirit. I'm all about spirit. And so I'm thankful that she saw the positivity in me, because I see the beautiful positiveness in her and all the other dancers that I've worked with. So I'm truly honored and thankful. And yes, that's UCR's Dancing 2018. What a way to end my year, my senior year. It was great.
Congratulations.
First got into West African when I was taking Makeda's class last semester, and I was so nervous, but I met Imani there, so that made me feel better. And really what West African taught me was to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and to push my limits and don't have fear, because when that happens, it's just all bad. You have to believe in yourself and be confident in what you do. I'm always so critical of myself, so participating in Imani's piece and have taken the West African class allowed me to be comfortable with being vulnerable, because I don't like to be vulnerable. But I mean, we started off our piece like that, just saying one thing we were going through, just straight up. So I think that made me more comfortable. And then you asked me to sing, in which I'm even more critical of myself on. And at first I was hesitant to sing, but I thank Imani so much for pushing me to be the best that I can be. No one has ever pushed me as hard as her, ever, and that's real, like 100%. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's a perfect way to end my year at UC Riverside. Perfect. I never, ever thought I would be sitting here, down here with so many amazing, beautiful black women. Doing a traditional African dance. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, I mean, I'm just forever thankful for the opportunity. Never forget it. That's for damn sure.
Here's one. Greetings. My name is Imani Mayat, and I have had the pleasure of being the choreographer of a tribute to SuNu. This was an amazing experience, an amazing journey, and I'm sitting here like, wow, I really did this with beautiful people. Everybody that was a part of this. It wasn't just, you know, about me choreographing a West African piece. It was about showcasing the community that I come from, my mentors, my teachers, my family. All this is just a accumulation of all the blessings that I've been able to witness and be around since I started dancing at the age of 13. I've been doing this for a long time. But what I will say is no dance has touched me like West African dance has touched me. It's my home. This is where I belong. This is things that my ancestors, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, before we were brought over here, they were doing these dances. And the fact that it got to me is a blessing. It's a rite of passage. And I'm just grateful and honored that the torch was passed to me so that I can pass it to somebody else in the future. So, yeah.